So I gave him time. After 1 year and 8 months, I started asking him for my payment. While I'm asking for my payment, David is asking me out. While I'm asking for my payment, David is asking me to date him. I told him, sir, one day I got so frustrated. I said, sir, can you concentrate and pay me my money? Stop telling me about dating you. I've told you I cannot date you. He became angry and hung up on me. The next thing, he sent me a message which is on my phone right now by David Umahi's number. Everybody that knows David knows this same number. He sent me a phone, an SMS that I insulted him. I will teach you a lesson for insulting me. I can show it to the whole Nigerians. I can show that text message to the whole Nigerians. He said, I will deal with you for insulting me.
In Nigeria, the elders have a saying that rings especially true in moments of high-stakes confrontation. Even the mighty Iroko tree can be shaken when the wind of truth blows strong. Yesterday, February 25, 2026, that wind swept through the FCT Police Command Headquarters in Abuja, where human rights activist Omoyele Sowore stepped forward boldly, intervening directly and confronting Minister of Works David Umahi in a tense face-off that has now captured national attention. The dramatic encounter unfolded as Sowore and fellow activists challenged the minister's presence at the command amid growing allegations from a businesswoman who claimed she has been subjected to years of harassment and intimidation over an unpaid government contract. Today, the full weight of those claims has come into sharper focus as the woman at the center of the storm, Mrs Tracyniter Nicholas Ohiri, publicly shared her story in Abuja just hours before her arraignment at a magistrate court in Wuse Zone 2. This na confirm street news. Na waiting we hear with the report, but be sure say na confirm. Beg, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and drop a comment to help us grow and bring you undiluted news. This unfolding case centers on serious accusations leveled by the businesswoman against the serving Minister of Works. Mrs. Ohiri alleges that after she supplied corporate gift items for David Umahi's gubernatorial campaign in Ebonyi State years ago, she was never fully paid, and repeated demands for settlement led to personal advances, threats, and eventual police involvement. According to her account, the minister visited her hotel room in Ebonyi during one business trip, appearing in only a towel and making unwanted sexual advances that forced her to flee to a staff member's room for safety. She further claims that whenever she pressed for payment of the outstanding debt, originally 25.4 million naira, and now said to have ballooned to 304 million naira with accumulated interest, the minister responded with repeated propositions, hostility, and threatening messages. Ohiri says she was warned against staging any protest at the government house, and after she took her grievances to social media following the death of her father, who she had hoped to send abroad for medical treatment, security operatives arrested her at her residence and moved her to Abuja. If this story of power, debt, and accountability is holding your attention, please take a moment to like the video, leave your thoughts in the comment section, and subscribe so you never miss our continuing coverage of developments that shape lives across Nigeria. To fully appreciate why this matter has escalated so quickly, it is important to understand the background. Mrs. Tracyniter Nicholas Ohiri is a businesswoman who entered into a contractual arrangement with David Umahi long before he became governor of Ebonyi State. She was engaged to produce corporate promotional materials for his campaign, submitted quotations, and was encouraged to proceed with production even without the requested mobilization funds. Relying on her personal savings and loans, including money set aside for her children's school fees, she financed the entire project. The goods were eventually delivered to the minister's residence in the presence of his family and staff, with Ohiri herself bearing the cost of transportation by truck. Despite these efforts, she says she received no reimbursement for logistics and no payment for the supplies, even after waiting 1 year and 8 months following the election. Her attempts to recover the debt reportedly triggered a pattern of behavior she describes as harassment. Ohiri maintains that the minister made persistent personal advances, which she consistently rejected, telling him to focus instead on settling her money. She alleges this refusal led to growing hostility, including threats that prevented her from carrying out a planned protest. The situation reached a new level after her father's death, when her social media posts about the unpaid debt drew public attention. Shortly afterwards, she was arrested at her residence and moved to Abuja, where during police questioning, the minister allegedly denied ever meeting her. Ohiri says she countered gist by presenting photographs and other materials as evidence of their prior business dealings. Yesterday's confrontation at the police headquarters brought these issues into the open. Human rights activist Omoyele Sowore, known for his advocacy on transparency and justice, led a group that directly engaged Minister Umahi at the FCT command. The intervention highlighted concerns over the use of state institutions in what Ohiri's supporters describe as a personal dispute. Today, Sowore and other activists have continued their support by besieging the magistrate court in solidarity with the businesswoman as she faces arraignment. The police have stated that the matter is under investigation, with facts still being gathered to determine the next steps.
In response, the minister has strongly denied the core allegations. Through his senior special assistant on media, Francis Nwaze, David Umahi issued a statement on February 26, rejecting any suggestion that he deployed the police to settle a personal score. The statement explains that his lawyer submitted a formal petition, after which the police arrested Ohiri and invited the minister to make a statement in line with standard procedure. Umahi's team describes the woman's claims as inconsistent and contradictory, noting that many members of the public who have followed the story have also questioned their credibility. The minister, according to the statement, chose not to engage in any theatrics during yesterday's confrontation at the police command. The implications of this case stretch across several important areas of national life. Politically, it places a senior member of President Bola Tinubu's cabinet under public scrutiny at a time when governance and public trust remain sensitive topics. As Minister of Works, David Umahi oversees critical infrastructure projects worth billions of naira. Any perception that personal matters could influence the use of security agencies raises broader questions about accountability at the highest levels. Socially, the allegations touch on the delicate issue of how women in business navigate dealings with powerful male figures in Nigeria. Claims of sexual harassment and intimidation, even when denied, reflect ongoing conversations about workplace conduct, consent, and the protection of citizens who speak out. The minister, according to the statement, chose not to engage in any theatrics during yesterday's confrontation at the police command. Economically, the story underscores the challenges faced by small and medium-scale entrepreneurs who contract with government officials or political campaigns. When payments are delayed or withheld, businesses collapse, families suffer, and the wider economy loses confidence in public sector dealings. On the security side, the arrest and movement of the businesswoman to Abuja, followed by her arraignment, illustrate how disputes that begin as civil or commercial matters can quickly involve law enforcement, sometimes prompting accusations of intimidation or abuse of office. Public reaction has been swift and divided, as is often the case when high-profile figures are involved. Many citizens, especially on social media, have expressed support for Mrs. Ohiri, standing by her as an ordinary businesswoman standing up to power. Activists led by Omoyele Sowore have framed the matter as a test of whether justice can be obtained when a minister is accused. They argue that the use of police in a debt-related issue raises red flags about fairness. Others, however, have sided with the minister's position, pointing to what they see as gaps or inconsistencies in the businesswoman's narrative and questioning the timing of the public disclosure. Some commentators have called for calm, urging that the police investigation and court process be allowed to run their course without trial by public opinion. The presence of activists at both the police headquarters yesterday and the court today have amplified these conversations, keeping the story trending and drawing attention from across the country. Looking ahead, several developments are likely in the coming days and weeks. Mrs. Ohiri's arraignment at the Wuse Zone 2 Magistrate Court today marks the beginning of formal judicial proceedings. The police have indicated that their investigation is ongoing, and the outcome will depend on the evidence presented by both sides. If the court finds merit in the businesswoman's claims, it could lead to further charges or civil actions for debt recovery. Conversely, if the minister's denial holds and the claims are deemed unfounded, the matter could be resolved in his favor, possibly with consequences for those who brought the allegations. Beyond the immediate legal process, this case may prompt wider reflections on how government officials handle private contracts and complaints. It could also influence future reforms around transparency in campaign financing and procurement, areas that have long been debated in Nigeria's political system. For ordinary citizens and business owners, the story serves as a reminder of the importance of proper documentation, clear contracts, and accessible dispute resolution mechanisms that do not rely solely on personal connections or intimidation. As the court process begins and more details emerge, Nigerians from all walks of life will be watching closely to see how institutions respond when a minister and an ordinary businesswoman find themselves on the opposite sides of a serious dispute. The coming rulings and statements will test the balance between power and justice in our democracy. As we follow this important story step by step, if the coverage has given you clearer insight, please show your support by liking the video right now, sharing your own perspective in the comments, and subscribing to the channel so you stay informed on every new development. We are committed to bringing you balanced, factual updates as this case unfolds.